Hello there, world of tankers. Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video I'll be playing in the Tier 10 British Tech Tree Tank Destroyer, the FE215B 183. A vehicle for many years I've told people not to grind. Will I change my opinions today? Well, I'm going to be kind of talking about everything. We're going to start off very briefly talking about the line, because that is something a lot of people forget. They look at the tier 10, they see this super high alpha, this really, really dangerous tank, and they forget that you have to play the AT2, AT8, AT7, AT15, and Tortoise to get to the FE215B 183. That is a big thing, because the fastest tank in the whole line is the tier 5, which goes 25 kilometers per hour. After that, throughout the Tortoise to the AT8, you're going 20. And that's not very fast. So if you can't stand slow vehicles, probably grinding the 183 line is not going to be a good choice for you. And the whole line is slow. Now you do have game modes, and that's what I would recommend to play in if you don't want to literally die in terms of enjoyment. Grind in, gravity. Grind in these game modes where your tank can go faster and you can actually have some fun in them. But yeah, for most players, grinding the Tortoise in these vehicles is not going to be very fun. I like playing in the Tortoise for like 1 or 2 games, but, after it's like the 5th game, I'm not enjoying my life. Now, what we're going to do right now is we're going to aim it on this enemy STB across the map and get completely blocked by my teammate. Thanks, dude. I guess I'll aim it on the STB again and fire. There it is. I can't believe that just bounced. Yes, an amazing E100. Oh, well. We aim in. 6 more seconds. 5, 4... 3. I'm going to load a high explosive this time, because at least if my shell hits, it'll splash him for a decent amount. There you go. So we did 562 to that player. This is kind of the 183 experience here. You're in the back of the map, you're going to sit here, and you're going to hope that your RNG works, right? We're getting some damage already, which isn't too bad. I've got, of course, a camping E100, which is not very helpful. Let's see if this T-54 continues going. Fire! Dang, bruh. Dang. This gun is not working right now. But that is the 183. It's an RNG-dependent vehicle. For this gun to work, you have to have good luck. And right now, as you can see, our luck is not treating us very well. So we got to reload for another 5 seconds. We have the rear of that 50 TP. But again, we gotta have good luck here. So we can aim it on the rear of that tank. And there you go. That is what happens when the 183 works. You take a full health heavy, and you bring it down to 600 health in one shot. That is crazy, right? I mean, we literally just stripped that tank of all of its health. And if we get lucky here, might be able to hit that STB, but it doesn't look like we're going to have that opportunity just yet. Now, we do have the enemy Emil, and if that Emil shows me his side, boom, 916 damage into that player, which just completely turns the tides of the battle for the Emil 2 there. Because the Emil 2 was losing, and now he was winning, and now our Yo completely beats that player out. So this is actually a pretty good game here to showcase where the 183 can be pretty good. Because we, hit some important shots, and those shots did help out our team a lot. So, got that STB. I can't hit that STB just yet. It's so close, but I'm looking for a gap. Dang, bruh. Should have fired HE. It's fine, though. We're going to reload. We got a super, super productive E100 here, of course. Yeah, it's not very good. Alright, well, the 704 actually hits a pretty nasty shot there. The enemy 183 screws up his shot on the O, it looks like, and we're going to aim in a high explosive on the 183. Take that player out of the game. I don't have to deal with that player anymore. And let's hope our STB, or their STB, dies to the 704. But at this point, I've actually done a pretty good job, right? I've done everything that I need to in the 183. Oh, and there's the enemy T110 E4 on the flank, so I'm hoping that this E4 potentially shows me his side. We can get some damage into him. Let's move up. Let's move up. Just keep going. Just keep going. Of course, our E100 still spawn camping. What an effective player, bruh. But let's move over here, and the STB's dead. We're going to move to the rear of this E4, and we're going to aim in a high explosive right... Well, you know what? 650 damage. That's fine. I was hoping that we could obviously slam that high explosive into his weak spot, but we're up to 3,500. And this is actually a pretty good game to showcase the 183. And it really did showcase the strengths and weaknesses all at once, right? Because we had a moment here where the gun did not want to work with me. I had 2 shells on that STB fully exposed, and the first one bounced off his one little upper plate bar, and we got really unlucky. And then the second shell hit the exact same spot. If either of those shells had actually hit where I wanted them to, the STB would have been dead in literally 2 shells. But that's the way the 183 works. We have the side of a T-54, we aim in perfectly, we lead it right, and the shell goes just a little bit low instead of hitting his vehicle. So we had really 3 shells that did not do what I wanted them to. But then we also had a shell on the rear of that 50 TP that did end up penetrating, dealing, 2/3 of that player's hit points. We had a shell on the enemy 183 that we were able to clear. We had a shell on, some of these opponents that actually did end up working, especially that Emil 2. So that's kind of how the 183 works. Its gun is very hit or miss at distance. And to be fair, that's fine. It should be. This is a tank that features the highest alpha damage in the game. If you're giving this vehicle good accuracy at distance, it doesn't really make sense. I would say anything over 200 meters, and you've probably got about a 50-50 whether the shell's actually going to hit exactly where you want. But anything less than 200 meters, and the 183 starts to become really scary, because this vehicle, as you saw on that Emil 2, is pretty accurate at that distance. That was about maybe 250 meters away, and yeah, those shots are not that hard to hit, to be real. So, this game, it looks like our team wants to go to medium flank, which is fine with me. I don't love driving medium flank and tank destroyers on this map, but we'll see exactly what we can do. The enemy team has 2 183s, 2 heavy tanks, and they have 2 mediums. So, realistically... Oh, our Conway drove into a wall. Realistically, I might sit in this bush here early game. This is a good early game spot to see if anybody's going to make a bad play. Let's see, we got the 60 TP down low, but yeah, I'm just going to chill, kind of wait right here. Maybe somebody's in that bush, you never know. We'll see. We will indeed see. Come on. I'm also going to overpoke this a little bit. There's the enemy object, 268, okay. Well, again, I'm just kind of hoping that one of those 183s ends up getting detected back here, and we can get some damage into them. We have the 268, which... that definitely penned. And, yep, there you go. Full health 268 now has 740 HP. That's pretty crazy when you think about it, right? I mean, that's what this tank can do. Now, of course, our grill appears to be awful at the game and is potentially nuking himself, but let's aim in on the enemy 183, and, there you go. Turned his turret to the side. Another 1,060 damage. In 2 shots, we've already dealt 2,100 damage. Take a second and think about that. 2 shots, 2,100 damage. That is what the 183 can do when you drive it properly. And as you can see, it's not that challenging of a tank to really drive. Now what we're going to do is drive behind the 60 TP. And I'd say there's about a 50-50 chance we're going to ammo rack this player from full health. So let's get behind this player. Let's aim in and, well, it's not an ammo rack, but it is half of that player's hit points stripped away. 3 shots, we've dealt 3,300 damage. The grill... oh. Okay, well, I guess the grill gets the ammo rack instead, guys. I'm going to chill right here, and we're going to aim in on... oh, you know what? We got the 183 here, and that's completely fine with me, because not only does that 183 screw up the high explosive, but I'm just going to AP pen him for 980 damage. That's a pretty easy win if you ask me. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move up. This 183 realistically won't kill me, and at this angle also can't hit me with a high explosive in the lower plate, so I just need to make sure that this 183 can't really high explosive me. I'm just going to aim in. Oh, he does, but doesn't really matter. 2 AP shells and that player's out of the game. There you go. That was a pretty easy 5,000 damage battle. We ended up winning and did a pretty solid job. And again, this is kind of your average 183 experience for me. You play the tank a little bit further back, you wait for the enemy to make mistakes, and you punish it, right? And to be fair, this game, we didn't really do anything special. The enemy all kind of just gave us free damage. That 268 drove into the open, allowed me to hash. And we low-rolled basically every shell we fired. Even that 60 TP shot technically was a low roll, so we could have done an additional, 400 damage this game, actually maybe even more. But either way, you can see how the 183 works. We penned 2, 3, 4, 5 shots, and we did 5,200 damage. So when the gun works, it's great. And as I said, anything less than 200 meters, and this gun does work. And that's exactly why, in that game, the position I put myself in seemed to be very effective. So the tank itself, I don't think the 183 is bad anymore. I used to say it was a terrible tier 10, and that nobody should play it because it really isn't a good tank. But nowadays, I can't really say that. I do think the 183 is a fairly effective vehicle. The fact that it has good camouflage values and you can sit in a bush without being spotted, the fact that the gun has 320 millimeters of AP pen, the fact that this vehicle doesn't have bad shell velocity, the fact that it has really stupid alpha and 950 on the AP with good DPM means that there really isn't much of a downside for driving this vehicle. I mean, I honestly don't think the 183 is bad anymore. It is still team dependent, right? It reverses very slow, only at like 12, 11 kilometers per hour. Yeah, and not only that, but it does have a long reload at 20 seconds. So you sacrifice a lot for this gun, but at the same time, it still just kind of does whatever it wants and gets away with it. So you guys can let me know what you think about the 183 in the comments, but it's still a stupid tank, and it will always be a stupid tank. I would say to grind it if you don't hate the whole line. I mean, I like these tanks, but I wouldn't want to play them for hundreds of games to grind to the 183. I only have fun in these tanks if I drive them every now and then. But definitely play game modes if you don't want to die in terms of fun. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye!